Welcome. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to SestraNow's Workshop Wednesdays. Thank you for joining us tonight. Tonight, we have the pleasure of presenting Dr. Ali Griffith, as well as Dawn Carter Jenkins of our business startup team. They are going to be presenting on the topic, Who's in Your Corner? Building a Successful Business. So without further ado, I am going to give Dawn the floor to introduce herself and Dr. Ali. And we thank you so much for presenting and giving us your time tonight. I'm looking forward to hearing everything. Dawn?
Thank you, Stephanie. Of course, for those of you that already know me, which is a few people that are in the Zoom room, so feel free to join us in the Zoom room also. My name is Dawn Carter Jenkins. I am a speech pathologist. I am a member of SestraNow, and I am also a member of SestraNow's business startup team. So first and foremost, I must invite you guys to the marketplace. If you have a small business, if you have a business that you want to start, if you have a business that's been started, or if you just have products and services that you want to share, feel free to join in. I know Stephanie and Annette are very, very generous with allowing us to participate in the marketplace, and they have big plans, big visions, and big things that they want to do with the group as a whole. They are really moving and shaking and making sure that we're all participating as often as possible to share what we have with others and allow other people to benefit from what we're offering, right? So I definitely I'm putting that out there for anybody else that wants to do that. Additionally, here tonight, presenting with me is Dr. Alicia Griffith. And Dr. Ali is somebody that I met many years ago, several years ago. She is somebody that I worked with kind of tangentially over the years. And we connected because we're speech pathologists and we sometimes, circulate in the same groups. And so over the years, I've seen her in action. I realized that she was definitely an action taker, and that she is the kind of person that gives energy to every room and knows that she is going to kind of participate actively if she's going to be there. So no matter what, you're going to see her, you're going to hear from her, and you're going to benefit from what she's going to say anytime you see her and anytime you hear from her. I have the pleasure of working with her currently, but I will get into that a little bit later because she's one of the people that's in my corner. So I'm going to let Dr. Ali also introduce herself a little bit and just say hello.
Hi, everyone. I am Dr. Ali Griffith. I'm super excited to be here. I am a startup biz strategist. I help a lot of moms to launch their own brands online, showing them simple strategies and systems of how they can make it happen. I'm super excited to just share some tools of who is in my corner or who has always been in my corner. And I'm excited to support Dawn and SestraNow and just see more of us doing the things with our intellectual properties and monetizing our gifts. So I'm excited to talk some more.
Thank you, Dr. Ali. Thank you, Dr. Ali. So I am going to share a little PowerPoint because, I put together a little something for us to see. So can you see my screen currently? Can you see it now? There we go. All right. So I am going to present that. I see that it's kind of showing. It's moving a little.
It's good.
It's moving a little slowly, but we'll get there. We'll get there. So I'm going to put it in presentation mode because I like to do that. So of course, as you know, this presentation tonight is Who's in Your Corner, and our SestraNow business startup team is going to create various different opportunities for people to learn. We've also already had one presentation. And this is the second presentation that we are doing. And so I am happy to have you guys here. I hope that, we get some questions, get some kind of ideas going, maybe some brainstorming, and maybe some ways that we can all kind of maybe even collaborate and learn about each other and how we're working. So figuring out ways that we can build with each other. So building a successful business is what we all want to do. And hopefully today's presentation will give you a little heads up about that. Obviously, this is who we are. Dr. Alicia Griffith is an audiologist and a speech pathologist, and I am Dawn Cotter Jenkins. So welcome again. All right, so I like to start with joke, not joke. It always seems impossible until it's done, said Nelson Mandela. And what does that mean? It means that we are all sometimes faced with opportunities, and yet we are, you know, when we are seeing it, we're like, how can I possibly do that? What could come next? Am I up to the challenge? Is this gonna work? All of those things. Now, I must admit that I am a Leo, and I'm the first of 4 women, first of 4 girls born. So I tend to be a Leo leader in many things. I tend to be a little less afraid, but that doesn't mean that I'm not afraid. It just means that I tend to want to provide a leadership kind of example, especially because that's what I learned from being a big sister, right? So it was almost part of my DNA to be part of the leadership of doing something. And businesses are taking on that leadership role for yourself, perhaps for others if you have employees, and also the opportunities that you are kind of faced with. We tend to want to be able to do them in the best possible way, and we don't want to make mistakes, and we don't want to, you know, go off track. But the truth is that mistakes are part of the process. Going off track can be part of the process. And so embracing it, although difficult and not always what you want, is also part of the process. The name of my business is World Class Speech Services, and I started my business back in 2003. And at that time, I was just starting off in speech language pathology. I had recently gotten a degree in 1997. And I knew from the time that I got my degree that what they were presenting as the ways that I was going to be a speech pathologist were not necessarily the ways that I wanted to be a speech pathologist. And for those of you that are familiar or unfamiliar rather with speech pathology or speech language pathology, it is the field that people generally think of as somebody that teaches somebody how not to stutter, or how to overcome a lisp, or works with children in schools. And although I started in a preschool and I worked in the New York City school system for 2 years as a substitute speech teacher, I also knew that I really wanted to do something that was outside of the box of what the normal version of speech services would be and what people were saying that I should be doing. However, you know, for what it was worth, I tend to take people saying no as my opportunity to prove them wrong and still move forward, especially when I am the one that's making the decisions and I'm the one going for it, right? If anyone could do it, why not me? That's always kind of been my motto. Like, why not me? Other people are doing it, me too. So again, for me, my area of expertise in speech pathology was in professional voice use. So people that are working with public speaking, accent modification, speaking on the job is basically a good way of thinking about it. I did work when I first started my business in early intervention, and I did that enjoyably. One of my introductions to people is that I always say that I worked before and after school. So I didn't really stay in the school systems very long. I did part-time for about 5 years in the school system, and then I did not. I worked in preschools, I worked in elementary schools, I worked in middle schools, I've worked with EI. And I worked with EI actually for 20 years. EI was a lot of fun. I personally think that the way that we can come into people's homes, teach them how to interact with their child so that their child can communicate and give the kind of the love, the attention, the direction, the focus, the facilitation of language is one of the things that for me came easily, in the sense that it's something that I knew was a value. I knew that people needed it. I wanted to be there. And that for many years was what I did. In addition to that, I also participated as an instructor in universities to teach students who were going into speech pathology. So I became a clinical supervisor, I became a classroom professor, and I taught a lot about communication skills, speech skills, phonetics, linguistics, for any of the people that love those kind of topics. So again, for me, it was how it started. And for the last 5 years prior to this, I was at a university in Long Island. And at that university, I was able to expand my own understanding of what speech pathology was for myself. I was able to take more classes. I was able to move into what we now call telepractice, which is telehealth, telemedicine, that area of telecommunication for speech therapy. So that's what I've been doing over the last 5 years. I've had a lot of fun. And so the story is more speech out of the box, more, of the uniqueness, so to speak, of what speech pathology is. And so in this process, I have, had to build a type of business. Now, what does that mean? What we're here for today is to figure out who are our strategic partners. And I put strategic partners, but it's whoever's in your corner. And the reason why I put this list is kind of like, I was brainstorming as I was going along about who was it that I have worked with over the years to establish world-class speech services. Who have I needed to call on? Whose services have I needed to follow up with and find and pay for? And so I put together this list over the years. And the numbers, by the way, the numbers next to the list are how many people that I have worked with in these particular categories. Mm. Yes, it can be that way sometimes. So I've had 3 attorneys that I've worked with, and I counted as 3. It's really 2 individual attorneys and an attorneys group that I've had, with prepaid legal, what used to be prepaid legal. Accountants, I've had 5. Now, I will say that the attorneys were as useful as they could be with the knowledge base that they had. And I think that that's a big part of it. With anybody that is going to be in your corner, you need to find a way to find people that can actually answer the questions and lead you in the right directions that you need. Not that everybody needs, or not that somebody else needs, frankly. The first attorney that I had, back to the story about the attorneys, the first attorney that I had created a business strategy, a business for me that was what they call a C Corp, if I correctly remember. And the C Corp was not what I needed, basically. I needed a professional corporation. So I had to, apparently, find a new attorney that knew that this needed to be a professional corporation and not a C Corp. So again, that was the reason why I changed attorneys. Once that was done and I established myself as a professional corporation, I didn't need as much of the direct help from attorneys. But over the years, frankly, I've also needed other people to look at contracts, give me advice, things like that. I needed accountants. Now, the accountant part is probably the bigger stressor. My latest accountant I have is a woman who is great, and I love her dearly. So if she comes in today, just know she's great. She is somebody that I worked with because the other 4 accountants before her were not really listening to me. And I say this specifically that she was a woman because my feeling about it is that I feel that I work better with women in business. I feel that I connect better. I feel that I communicate better. They communicate better with me. So My current accountant is somebody that I trust, somebody that asks questions, somebody that comes back, somebody that asks and answers questions. So she and I have been working together for the last 10 years. My financial advisor, I have one. Now, the one financial advisor that I've had, probably 15 years. She was the one that sent me to various accountants, but she was the one that also said, if this one doesn't work, go to the next one. And that's another thing that I want to impart to you guys. There is a need for people to listen to you and to understand when things are not working, that they can still direct you to somebody else. That builds trust, that builds credibility, and that allows you as a business person to be able to step your game up, get to the next level, and find somebody that can help. I've had 2 career coaches. These are people that in some ways I feel like are more along the lines of career therapists. They listen to you, they give you some advice, they allow you to kind of like pull things out from yourself and direct you. They're not giving you a strategy directly for business. For me, at least, they didn't do that. But what they did was they kind of allowed me to see where I wanted my business to be, what my vision was, where I was going, and clear some things up. A website designer, I started with me. That was okay. But I then went to other professionals, right? So other people that could do it right. And not to say that everybody is perfect, because I still think that my website can be better. But for what it's worth, I definitely have a website that I feel comfortable with, if it's not perfect. Advertising experts, so those I consider to be marketing and promotion. So people that you can talk to about where you should put your information so that you can get the best bang for your buck if you are paying for advertising. And then a logo designer. I also had 2. There's dots by that because I think I want to change my logo. But that's just a little question mark in my own head about what's next. So again, for me, that's what I did. How is it going? Right now, I've been moving through my business, reestablishing my business, because I have actually left my steady gig in February, and I'm reestablishing my business. So MWBE, which is a minority women business enterprise, is something that I got certified in. It's something that a lot of people are interested in as far as figuring out ways to get government contracts, local contracts, or just be seen by people in bigger businesses. PC means professional corporation. It's the type of corporation that I needed. And I had mentioned that before. You need the right type of structure for your business. I've been building my skills in different areas. Recently, I have gotten a new degree in healthcare informatics, which leads me into being more aligned with my next steps. Diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI, is something that I've been working on for the last year. It's something that came about, of course, as we know, through the current climate in workplaces. And it's certainly something that, although I took as part of who I was, I now know that it also is a part of the message that I need to bring forward to others. And of course, I am a presenter. So I do present. I present to local organizations. I present to statewide organizations, and I present to students, obviously. So now I want to introduce you to Dr. Ali. So Dr. Ali is my business coach. She's the next person in my corner. So I will read this to you, so I will try not to mess it up, because I'm not always good at just reading. Dr. Alicia Ali Griffith is a powerhouse, a published #1 best-selling author, global transformational speaker, and a startup business coach for moms. She has dedicated her career to helping moms to launch their own profitable business, personal brands online, and create wealth on their own time and terms. Whether we're talking about her hit podcast, The Dr. Ali Griffith Show, or leading the sales team for personal development and media titans such as Lisa Nichols, Steve Harvey, and Susie Carter. Dr. Ali is the rock star in every room she enters, including being a featured speaker at the World Summit 2020, held by Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi, to almost 9,000 attendees. But what sets her apart from many is that she's not one to rise alone. With an incomparable blend of business strategy and personal development, there is a depth to Dr. Ali's coaching that is unmatched. So I'm pleased to present Dr. Alicia Griffith.
Woohoo.
Love it how they're never sure if to say Alicia or Ali. So hi everyone, I'm Dr. Ali. I had to go and create a quick power slide while Dawn was talking because I was feeling also not professional. I was just going to talk to y'all. So I put something together. I just whipped it up really quickly. It's just a little bit about who's in your corner. I wanted to share some things that Dawn didn't share. So she shared some really key things that must be in your business. Definitely legal advice, definitely financial, definitely an accountant, someone to make sure that you're making smart decisions. Definitely someone that can give you your logo and all those great stuff, and a website developer. So I heard her and I was creating in the same process. So I'm going to give you 5 extras. So everyone, if you're still in here, I want you to type out the word hi. I want to make sure that you're still here. I'm super engaging, as you know. Thank you. Hey, Tanya. Tanya, you already know. I love to have conversations. I hate speaking to myself because otherwise I would stare at a wall and self doesn't answer. So we're going to have this conversation, right? For those who don't know, I can be found on Dr. Ali Griffith, pretty much Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Pinterest, and LinkedIn. So if you want to look for me, if you have to jump off, just know that's where to go. I'm into building legacy-driven businesses. I don't know if any of you guys are. If you are, type out an L. I'm into building something that goes beyond the moment. I'm into building something that goes beyond me. And I want to live it now. Right? So I want to live that legacy now. I don't want to just build something that's for tomorrow, next year when I'm not here. I want to be the essence of what my business is and what my brand is. As you can see below, this is my mom. She just literally released her book last year. She has a nice little journal that some of our tribe helped her to put together, a little prayer journal. So she's now an author. And now my son, he's also a best-selling author with his I Am coloring book. So type out legacy. Right? Yeah, like a boom, boom, boom. So I'm gonna give y'all a little bit of joy. That's my Zachary. That's him signing books. He is on the autism spectrum, and he is everything. So you'll probably hear him in the process of this presentation, but he is always in my background. And I never pretend he doesn't exist anymore, because there was once a time I did. There's once a time I hid him. There was once a time I pretended that if I was just the only person, I was just Dr. Ali Griffith, and people just saw me. But what they didn't see was the fact that I would come into the closed doors. I'd be crying. I'd be trying to figure out this process called Autism Mom, and trying to figure out being a professional out there helping other families with their kids. So I was that until I decided to wait a minute, I'm giving all these people my intellectual property? What about my own business? What about my own brand? What about me doing something for those who are beyond me? So I always love to give gifts. If you stay to the end, hang tight, I'll give you a gift. It's something that, you might like. I always ask when I'm in a time, if you have any questions, ask questions. And please make sure by the time you get off here that you decide on whatever your next was. Don't be in a session just being there. Leave from there with something for your next, okay? Can we agree with that? Type out 1 if you agree. Type out 1 if you agree. If I'm gonna spend time away from my babies, if y'all gonna spend time away from your kids for a few minutes, make sure you come out with some sort of next. Make sure you get some sort of clarity towards exactly why you were positioned, why the universe placed you here at this moment to get the information that you needed to get. A little bit about me, because you must drop some street cred. Why should I listen to her? She read my bio. She spoke all about who I am. I've been doing this thing for about a minute. I help people in gaining clarity, increasing their visibility, and I do believe in investing in coaching. That's what made a difference in my business, and I believe that we should invest in coaching. We don't know it all, and we shouldn't pretend we know it all. And I don't know about none of y'all, but we're not in our 20s anymore, or 30s, or possibly 40s for some of us. So we need to invest in getting that support from people that can help us to get us there faster, or we can sit down there and Google it and spend a longer time trying to figure it out. I believe in launching products. I believe in launching your own things, your own brands. I've had 92% of my clients that have launched products or service or podcasts, retreats, businesses. I have a biz academy, memberships, community. I believe in the fun of business, like keeping the fun in business. So lately I've been doing something called a Biz Beach Retreat, where we actually escape into Aruba, take time away from the kids and family, and just focus on our brand, like really focus and tap into the things that we never have time to do, and still have some fun. And I've been seeing a few places, ABC, CBS, Good Morning America, Family Circle, Parents Magazine. Most importantly, I am a Black belt in Jiu-Jitsu. So badass or what?
Wow.
I believe in helping women to go from brand new to badass. I want all y'all to be badasses because I think we were created to be bad. I think we were created to be amazing. These are some people who I've worked with. These are people who have held me up. So just some street cred, just so you know, should I listen to her? Maybe you should, just a little bit. As I say, follow me on Instagram at Dr. Ali Griffith, right? If you ever want to see what I'm doing behind the scenes, at Dr. Ali Griffith, go there, pop in, say hi. Don't just follow, but say hi eventually. So if you say hi, I will follow you back. Remember, choose yourself, and then the game will change. Sometimes we're so busy choosing everything else, everyone else, including us moms, busy choosing all of our kids, that we forget that we are the ones they're looking at. We are the true leaders, and we are the ones that really have to take ourselves to where we know we were purposed to be, so they can see it, not just hear it, but see what it's like to own your own brand. So I've been kind of obsessed with that. So these are the 5 people that I think that should be in your corner. Yes, I said business coach because I tried doing this without a business coach. I don't know about y'all, but I did not graduate with an MBA. As Dawn said, I'm an audiologist, a speech language pathologist. I can communicate out the wazoo. However, when it came to business initially, I was like, okay, what do you mean? Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, what do you mean? All these letters they would throw out to me, LLCs and SBAs and this and that. And I'm like, okay, this is not my area of expertise. Hence the reason I invested in a business coach, so I can learn about it, so I can take my business faster. As opposed to pretending. A lot of us are pretending we know about business, but we don't know nothing about business. All we know is what we see. And none of us want to be Insta famous. We want to be legacy famous. We want to be build legacy businesses. So I would suggest get a business coach, whether it's me, whether it's someone else aligned with me. Make sure you have something in common. They are aligned with your values. Watch them. See what they're doing at work and what they're not doing, what they're doing when they're not at work. Look at that 360 and see, is that in alignment with you? Does that flow with what you want? Can they help to get you to those next levels? VAs, OMG. When I got my first VA, that was me saying I cannot do it all. How many of us are trying to do it all? Be the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker. We're making graphics, we're doing covers, we're doing this, we're doing that. Then we're wondering why we tired. Hello, that was me. So I'm right there with you. So the first thing I decided to get myself involved with, you guys can tell I'm a little animated and excited, and I love business and talking money to wonderful women like us, is get a VA so you can get some help. And they're cheap ones, they're affordable ones. They're ones that you can actually pay for less than $10 an hour, less than $7 an hour. Let me know if you're looking for one, I'll hook you up. But there are people who you can pay. They're not from America, let me be fully transparent. However, they're trained in whatever space to help you with what they can help you with. Release some of the load. Like I said, I am not saying this is more important than the ones Dawn mentioned. I want to make sure I reiterate that. Dawn mentioned a lot of the key ones that you should definitely invest in. These are the ones that are going to help to make your business flow. These are who you're going to have in your corner so that you can go out there and make the money, right? Who wants to be the ones that is the brand? You are the talent. You are the essence of your business. You are the CEO. All right, so type out CEO if you want to be the CEO, or do you want to be all the things? So own that and start with getting help, right? As you get into your VA, you're gonna realize, oh my goodness, there are all these platforms I need to be on: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Pinterest, TikTok, and now they got a nerve to introduce Clubhouse. Okay. The second thing I decided to invest in was a digital marketing expert. This was the person who this was their expertise, right? So that's their genius. I don't need to know how to do Facebook ads. That's your genius. Let me just go out there and make the money, do what I do, speak like how I speak, have fun with people, enroll them into my programs, have fun on the beach with them, make money, being just me, and let them do what they're gifted at. And then give them the money for what they're doing. So investing is important because can I just say something? Nothing from nothing is nothing. And I hope you understand what that means. Nothing from nothing yields nothing. So if you're not out there bringing in the bacon, doing sales and all the things that you need to do to bring in more income in, then, and you don't, because you don't want to spend and invest like how we invest in school, it's okay for us to spend 4 years giving them thousands of fun dollars. Do we get that money back the first year? Do we get the money back the second year, the third year, the fourth year, the fifth year? Shucks, some of us are still paying it back. So some of us are busy like, oh my goodness, I don't want to invest in someone because I'm not getting it back immediately. Can you understand it's a process? Type out the word process. Because as soon as we start understanding that business is something that happens over time, we'll get out of that mode of I put in, I must get out immediately. I put in, I must get out immediately. These are all things to invest in. So as you're either bringing in a side job or driving Uber or bringing in something from somewhere else to invest in these places and these people and this help, assistance, so they can help you to build your business faster, smarter, because that's what they do. Because some of us are sitting down, okay, how do we post into 6 different places at one time? How many hours does it take that? Wouldn't you prefer to spend 1 hour doing what you do, bring in the money and just invest in them? It will help you to grow faster. Graphic designer. OMG. I am the queen of a janky presentation. I still am. Look, that's me. But thank God for Canva. Canva has made us all better. If you don't know Canva now, you should be best friend to Canva because they're free. canva.com. I should put my affiliate link in that, but that's okay. I digress. Many of us are trying to do these graphics by ourselves. Canva will help with a lot of the presentation. And if you do not have, let me just let you say, if you do not have to invest yet, that is fine. We're just giving you the tools as you grow. So breathe. Don't sit down and say, oh my God, I got to get this, that. No. This is for as you grow. Who should you put in your corner? Okay. A graphic designer will take your graphics to the next level. So I was one of you guys like, I'm not investing in no graphics. I'm doing all my graphics myself. I'm gonna just put pictures here and put that there. I can do this. It's just pictures. And then I hired someone who that was their expertise. And I was quickly humbled to realize that I need to stick to what I do. Okay. Now I whip this up quickly for y'all because, you know, we're in here and I want to make sure Dawn's coming right. I can't like come in with nothing to show you. So I want to put something together. Thank you, Dawn, for up-leveling my game. All right. And I just pulled it from something else I had before, took off some pages and moved forward. The last one, which I can't see right now because went too far too quickly. How do I go back to the last page? Wait, I'm coming. Now, there we go. Is a copywriter. Now this guy is not cheap, right? He's the one, the copywriter is the one. Do you guys know what a copywriter is? Type out 1 if you do, type out 0 if you're not sure. Now, it's not someone who just writes, all right? It's not someone who just writes. A person who just writes, they're content writers. They're just writers. A copywriter is the person who turns your words and eloquently creates sales out of them. They're able to turn your words into sales. They're able to use more conversion type of written conversation to help people to say yes. So copywriters are usually not cheap. If you find a copywriter and they're super cheap, they're probably not that great. So you'll find writers and then you'll find copywriters. They're the one that help you with sales. Sales is important, yes? Sales is important because a lot of us, and that was me until about a year or 2 ago, I was writing all my copy by myself, and that's okay. We all learn through the process. But as you begin to develop and as your brand begins to build and you bring in more business, you bring in more income, more revenue, more profit, then I want you guys to take one at a time and invest back in one of these. All right. My first suggestion would be the virtual assistant because they will help to relieve a lot of your work so you can go out there and make more money. Pipe down more money. All right. So I just wanted to leave you with this. Dawn and I strongly believe in this. I've been blessed to have the opportunity to work with Dawn for the last few months. We've known each other for longer than that, as she's explained. One thing we have in common is that, and we were just talking about it on one of our coaching calls, is that being surrounded by people who are the thinking and the talkers. How many of you guys are tired of being around people who are just busy talking about, I'm gonna start a business, I'm gonna do a business, I'm going to do this, next year I'm gonna do this, and this year I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna write a book, and I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do that. And then you see them 1 year later. Next year I'm gonna write a book, and I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna start a business, I'm gonna do that. 5 years later. Do you have containers? Oh yeah, there's containers in the thing. And tell mom I'm doing a live. Can you tell grandma that? Tell grandma mom is doing a live. I told you guys, never a session without my son coming in. So that's why I always give you guys a disclaimer. Part of being a business mom. All right, so we got tired of the thinking and the talkers, and we decided to be around people who are the planners and the doers. Tell her I can't do it now. I'm in the middle of a live. People are watching me, and I'm sorry, I do not have the containers right now. The best time to launch your brand online is now. Why now? Why now? Type out, why do you think now is the best time to really dive into your business? Type it down in the chat. Like I told you, it's not a monologue. This is a dialogue. This is us in a pretty much big theater show right now. Why is it important now? Why now? And that says, why not? Why now? COVID just ended. We just got out of pandemic. Why now? Now is the hottest time to take your business to the next level. Because people are spending more money now. They spent a whole year of being inside. Now, don't get me wrong, they're the ones out there. I'm not saying that everyone's spending money, that everyone's rich and everyone has it. However, at this base, based on statistics, based on what we're reading, it's all about the small business. It's all about digital business. It's all about online businesses. And don't say that there's too many. There's never too many. You just have to learn how to stand out from the crowd. And that's what I do as a business coach. These are some of the ladies, some of my success ladies. They have developed and produced their own products, and I help them to launch it. So they go from ideas into implementation, because how do we feel about people who just talk about it? We don't want to be around those. We want to be around the what? The action takers. The talkers are not my clients. Hi, I'm okay. You can go to another. I don't need your money. The action takers, let's go, let's rock, let's build legacy. I'm not here just to take money. I want to make sure that you're actually doing the things that we're talking about. I'm a mom. I know where else your money can be spent in. So if that's where you choose to do, just to come and sit and listen to me, then no, that's not what I'm into. But if you're actually into the space of where you want to produce something, where you want to create your own legacy, where you want to build your own, so your kids can have their own, and your kids can have their own, and they can see what it takes, then that's what I take. Those are the people who I would love in my corner. All right, so that is it for now, I think. Let me see if I have anything else left there. Oh, these are some of the ladies on our first business beach retreat. I believe that behind every successful woman is a tribe of other successful women who have her back. I believe we were here to hold each other up. I strongly believe it. So if Dawn asked me while I'm in the middle of Aruba, if I'm gonna come this week, even though my calendar is ridiculously filled, the answer is yes. The answer is yes. Why? Because I believe in what she does. I believe in supporting another woman. Everything doesn't always have to be a paid engagement. Right? I get paid from knowing that I was able to come on for a few minutes and tap into people and provide information that hopefully you will take and use it for your next step. That's why I said, don't listen to me unless you're going to take this and use it for your next steps. And I also believe that some women fear the fire. I might not be the one for you. And some women simply become it. Those are the ones that we want to rock with. The ones who are ready to be fire, who are ready to be trailblazers, where every step you take, you are leaving something for your children to blaze from. Do something today that your future self will always thank you for. And that's what I want to leave you guys with. Hopefully that was.
Yay, thank you so much. Thank you. This was so, I'm so busy writing. Dawn, you want to go? You want to finish up?
Oh, the free gift, right? Yeah. So I said, I'm only giving it if you stay till the end. Most of my tribe have this already, so y'all lay low. The startandgrowyourbiz.com. You can go to startandgrowyourbiz.com. It literally has 15 key steps in starting your business for those who are out there. startandgrowyourbiz.com. And for those of you who are interested in my planner, I am now giving them off at 50% off. So at this moment, I can't remember what's the 50% off code is, but I will drop into your group and I'll put it, but it's lifebizplanner.com. It's $22. So the 50% off will give it to you for $11, which is super dope because you still could use it for August, September, October, November, December, 5 months. So I will drop the 50% off code probably in a few seconds as I stop talking.
All
Any
right.
questions?
Thank you so much. That was amazing. I'm looking through to see if there are any questions. I mean, I'm ready to jump to my questions. I've been taking notes like crazy. And so thank you, Dawn. Thank you, Dr. Ali. So Dawn is on our marketplace already. So you can find Dawn for your speech pathologist needs and other needs. She's just launching her business. You can find her on SestraNow's marketplace at SestraNow.com marketplace tab. And I want to ask Dr. Ali if she can please join our marketplace so that we can have her services presented in one place for anyone that wants to take advantage of her as a business coach. We would love to have you on the marketplace. And so I'll make sure that Dawn gives you the information, if you don't have it already, how you can become a partner with SestraNow and continue your efforts on educating all of us on the best way to build a legacy business and to do all these things that you talked about. I have like so many notes here. So I'll go back to Dawn first. Dawn made some really great points. That it's fine, which Dr. Ali piggybacked off of and gave us some amazing advice. But it's very helpful to understand the people that you need in your business. Dawn mentioned attorneys and accountants and the web developers and all these people. But I wanted to point out something that she said is important, that you have to you have to get the people on your side that will understand when they don't have everything to help you, and they're willing to admit it and be honest that, yes, I'm an attorney, as I am an attorney and Annette is an attorney, but I'm not an expert in all fields. Attorneys specialize just as doctors specialize. So you don't want to have a orthopedist, working on your heart, right? You don't want to have your foot doctor working on your private parts. That's for GYN, right? So the same in business, and the same with attorneys and accountants. People, even experts, have their specialities, and that is very important to know. And moving on to what Dr. Ali said, to reiterate, she said you need a business coach, you need a virtual assistant, you need a digital marketing expert, a graphic designer, a copywriter, which I don't know what that is, but I'm going to learn. Annette and I will be sure to reach out to you, Dr. Ali, so that we can get some more, information and some help, because this is just amazing advice that you give it. And Dr. Ali said, we have to understand to get the help that we need so our business can grow faster, because we're all not experts. And it's just so funny that she says this and that we're learning this tonight, is because that's exactly what Annette and I are doing, because she's the one that we have a graphic artist, but he's not always available. But Annette put together what's behind me right here through Canva. She's doing what she has to do because our graphic artist is busy doing other things for us. But we just need to expand. And like you said, Dr. Ali, like Dawn said tonight, you have to invest the money in your business. You can't expect to have your business reach a certain level if you don't invest in it the same way, as Dr. Ali said, that you're investing in your education. It never stops. We always have to learn. So I want to open the floor to any questions from anyone else. Am I missing anything in the comments as far as questions? Carol says on Facebook Live, Carol Medwinter Faulkner says, what are some of the challenges you encounter in starting a business? I don't know who wants to answer that.
I could at least start a discussion. one of the things that when I started 20 years ago, I was young, I was full of energy. I was willing to go anywhere and network with anyone and do so many more things. So I would say that, at the time, even though I was tired, but I would work until 3 o'clock in the morning. I would wake up at 6, like I would have no sleep. Those are the challenges, I think, when you first start. It is time consuming, or it can be time consuming. It doesn't have to be time consuming. If you're smart and you can work smart, you can absolutely cut down on the time. But sometimes I will say that because you're energized, you want to keep going. You want to keep, moving on. And again, through that, it's both positive and negative. I would also say one of the other challenges that I had, one of the reasons why I ended up having so many accountants, was because I did set goals, and I do like setting goals. I did in the past, especially because I wanted to, for example, one of the accountants that I had said that I would like to make 6 figures this year. Accountant, please keep track of this. Please let me know how this is going, because you have to pay your taxes. And in our particular, in the way that I was working, 1099s. I was quarterly paying, quarterly, like following up, etc. And the particular person, this accountant, by the end of the year, I had made, and I know that I should have been happy. I wasn't. So challenge this. This was my challenge. That was that I made $90,000 or 90 something thousand, right? And I was so angry. I was like, if you had just told me. That's why I say about communication.
Yes.
If you work with the right people, you're going to get to meet your goals in a way that satisfies both you and them. Now, if they are, if goals can be flexible, if you have no, it's not a big deal, no problem. Of course, listen, don't stress out about a lot of different things. In the end, you woosah and you let it go. But then I found another accountant, right? So that challenge of finding somebody that was going to, help me in the way that I wanted to be helped, and to take me to a level that I wanted to be, meeting my goals in what they were doing, their specialty area, and how they were helping me. So again, for me, those were a couple of the challenges for starting up. I felt, that those things could have been, handled better at the time, for, outside. So
There's a follow-up question to that. Many small businesses, by Carol is again, many small businesses are currently struggling, and some have closed their doors because of COVID. What is your advice to these struggling businesses?
Pivot. The ones that survived are the ones that pivoted, right? Because others wanted to stay with what was there. COVID was the perfect time to pivot. It was a perfect time to look at other measures of doing things. The businesses that thrive, and I'm not saying all, so please don't bring me back and hold me accountable for everything, but for those that I've known that have survived were the ones who decided to include online aspects to it, include the restaurants, the ones who allowed Grubhub to come and pick up the stuff and take it out, the ones who started to use their sidewalks to have people as soon as they can start feeding people. You have to shift with the times, and some people were not open to that. They wanted, first of all, some weren't prepared. They were not prepared to have a digital aspect to their businesses, including the school system. So come at me for that one. However, they're learning that these are the times that we're in. You have to pivot with the time. We are in a technology world. You can't have a practice and don't have a telepractice, because what if the world shuts down again? You can't have a barbershop and not collecting lead magnets or connecting their emails, because what if you cannot go out? How do you contact them? So what I am grateful for, and I'm always, I don't know how God decided this, because I was a brick and mortar. I had a business that was in person. And I decided that I couldn't, because with my son having all the needs, with me having a profession, I decided to go digital. So I started seeing clients digitally. I started doing things the other ways. And as a result of that, I was then able to move into pivoting during that space. I was ready for the technology part. Hold a second. My son is ringing the bell and not letting go of the bell at all. So I'll let Dawn go.
So Dawn, how do you answer that question? Dr. Ali says pivot. So
No,
what is your
that's
advice?
perfect. That's perfect, because the truth is, part of what I'm doing in taking my business to the next level is doing telepractice, right? I was working with children and going into people's houses and grabbing my bags. And I'm sure actually Dr. Tika Ann could probably answer this not for nothing. I don't know what you were doing 3 years ago, but I suspect that you were doing business differently prior to the pandemic. So I wholeheartedly agree. Pivoting was a huge part of it. My best friend owns a restaurant. So what Dr. Ali said also, she's quite happy to have delivery instead. And I know that I recently met Tika Ann, but she's online doing Mary Kay. And that's something to me that's new, because I've never seen, I had never seen that before. That was not something that was part of like my past Mary Kay doing. I would go to people's houses, I would be in their faces, I would be touching their faces. That pivoting part of things, that and especially digital online, huge part.
And I told so many people before it, like I had MUAs that were friends, and I was like, you need to teach a class online. You need to do something instead of always having to go to the spaces. And it wasn't until COVID that she came back and told me I should have listened, but I'm doing it now and I'm making more than I did before. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that we don't need the person-to-person contact, but what will make a business go under is that you are not changing with the times. You always should be investing in the next level of where your business should be. Don't think now, think of what if and what are the next levels. And that's why I always say, get a business coach that's ahead of you that can tell you things that are in advance. So you're always being pulled to that level as opposed to staying stagnant at here.
To your point.
I have my hand up, just saying. It's been up for a while. So keep going. It's okay. Don't forget me.
Go ahead, Annette. I was just going to piggyback on what they're saying. Just the opposite happened, I believe, after this pandemic. Carol is pointing on the negative, but I believe that some people in their businesses have done better because of the pandemic. I really believe that SestraNow would not have grown to 1,500 members in the 8 months that we've been online, but for the fact that everyone is Zooming and we're able to develop these relationships and these reports online. You know what I mean? That's not going to happen when everyone's out in the back about traveling. But Annette, please.
Well, I want to know, I know, we started SestraNow and I was not sleeping and I was exhausted, but I was excited. And I just want to know, we were on a high. And I'd like to know, how do you push through when you kind of get a burnout, early burnout? How do you push past that so that you could take it to the next?
You don't. You don't push past burnout. You shift the way that you're operating. We have a lot that we have to handle. We all, as women, we have a lot on our plates. And what I have seen, and especially with those that are highly successful, that are still successful, is the way that they're reshifting the way of what they do within the day. So the burnout happens when you forget yourself. The burnout happens when the first thing you do in the morning is you get and you serve everyone else, and you forgot to pour into your cup first without doing the meditation, without doing the walking, because you don't have time for you. So shifting the way that you use your life, the way that you schedule things. Stop putting too many things on one day. Like really look at it and see, what am I doing to overwhelm my own self? It's time for me to shift. One of the things I always work on with my moms, and especially because they come in and the main reason why they say they haven't started yet or they're not building their business is because there's no time, right? They're either trying to do too much with their time or they just feel like there's never enough time. That's why I created a planner. Being super intentional with where your time is and honoring your time. Making sure that the extra time that you're spent is not spent doing the things that doesn't honor you and that doesn't honor where you're going to be going to next. Don't waste your time doing the things that are not for you and for your next. But really the key is looking at things and seeing how could you make it simpler? How can you moderate and change your life? And I see that you went to Costa Rica and you changed the shift of how the flow things, especially us in New York. We have a lot on our plate. We're busy moving 50 million things. We're busy juggling 50 million things. Stop. We have the right to shift that. And we have to be able to see within ourselves when we need to take a break and leave. That's when I started to create more breaks within my schedule. Once a month, there's my weekend. Once a quarter, I go away. Once a year, there's a girl, whatever trip. Just making sure that we're not forgetting that we are the core of everything. So we have to stabilize and harmonize with ourselves. There's no such thing as balance. So that whole thing that I can't spend enough time with my kids, so I feel super horrible. I can't spend enough time doing this. So I don't have enough time working out. I don't have enough, because there's all these things we got to do. Be present with the one that you can and give yourself grace for the ones that you can't at the moment, and try your best to avoid burnout. I just built it into my program. So instead of doing business on the computer, I knew everyone, like I said, I'm always 5-10 steps in my head. Eventually they got to travel. So let's go to the place that I love, Aruba. And I created that as part of my business now. So now we can do business on the beach. So I get to wake up in the morning and see blue skies and all the great things and blue waters, and we still get to do business. So shifting your dynamics and shifting your perspective on how can I create my business where I don't feel burnout and I can love what I do and I can still feel like if I'm serving to the best of my capacity. I hope that answered your question. I'm a little kind of harsh, but I hope you get it.
No, I'm harsh too. I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
Yes, thank you.
That
This is
burnout
very
thing,
helpful.
stop that, man. And I am queen of that, and that's why I had to because I was feeling myself just being a bitch everywhere because I did not like who I was showing up as. And I'm like, wait a minute, Ali, are you meditating? Are you taking your time out for yourself? Are you walking? Are you doing the things that are for you first? And then are you regulating and honoring your time? My time is the most valuable thing I have. So I don't go anywhere when I don't need to go. I don't say yes to things that I don't feel like saying yes to. And ask Dawn, I will time you to a limit. You got 5 minutes. You got 15 minutes. And at that time, I'm like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bye.
Thank you so much. This is just amazing advice. We're at 8 o'clock and Annette and I we always like to make sure that we manage the time for the Workshop Wednesday because we're all busy women and we really appreciate you giving us this hour. So I want to close. I want to thank Dawn Carter Jenkins. I want to thank Dr. Ali Griffith for presenting on this amazing topic and this great fashion that they did tonight and giving us all this valuable advice. I want to make sure that I follow up with Dr. Ali Griffith so she can continue to bless us with all that wisdom and hopefully become a partner, and so that she's on our marketplace so that anyone that's interested in starting a business, they can definitely look her up and take advantage of her services and pay her as a coach to help take their business to the next level, because that's what we're about, sisters supporting sisters. So thank you again. I thank everyone for joining us tonight. And I'd like to close out with an announcement. As you know, up until this point, SestraNow has been doing Workshop Wednesdays every Wednesday. And we're going to, starting September 2021, we're going to do it every other week. It's not going to be weekly workshops. They're going to be bi-weekly, and they will still be at 7 p.m. Eastern, live on Facebook, but we will be doing it twice a month. So you want to make sure that you catch us because these are just powerful workshops, and these presenters are amazing, and we really appreciate them giving us their time. We will also have a 30-minute 1,000 Women meeting every other week on Monday at 8 o'clock instead of the 1 hour, because we want to make sure that your valuable time is that we demonstrate that we appreciate it, and that we get on and we get right to the point and then we get off. You know what I mean? Because we all have to rock and roll and do what we need to do in our lives, take care of our families, and to build our businesses. So that being said, Annette, do you want to say anything before we close out? I guess Annette is busy with her 7 kids, so I'm gonna let her go.
No, I'm sorry. I have, I'm on my cell phone, so I'm like pressing and trying to get back to the thing. I'm sorry. No, this was wonderful. And, I just wanted to point out Stony Brook is in the house. And so, it's always nice when we have a mini little reunion. And I'm so looking forward to getting to be Dr. Ali. And we knew each other somewhat we're familiar with each other from Stony Brook, but what a wonderful way that SestraNow has brought us back together. And we look forward to growing with you and helping to do what we can do. We really appreciate you taking the time to give us, to volunteer your time. We really appreciate it. And we want to be able to do all we can to reciprocate and to help you and to grow with you. So thank you, Don, who's amazing.
And there are many thank yous on Facebook Live as well. Because we have to close, I can't share them all, but everyone is like, thank you for a very important and informative session. Self-care is key. Carol says, learn to say no. And thank you, Diana Morales and Sonia, thank you, and Winsome, nice. So thank you guys so much for presenting and blessing our members with all of this wisdom, dropping this wisdom on us, and we appreciate it. And we will be following up, and we hope for a part 3 from the business startup team soon. All right, good night, everyone.
Good night,
Thank you for joining us.
Good night. Thanks for having me.
Bye-bye.